Why, hello everyone! I'm Mermaid Liv, and today things are gonna get magical.
Don't know why you say goodbye, I say hello.
Today I'm talking about just that, magic. Mermaid magic. Specifically for professional mermaids to share with the kids at a mermaid gig. So I've been a professional mermaid for around 2 years, and one thing that kids love is magic. And being a mermaid is supposed to be fun and magical, and you're supposed to make kids believe in magic and believe in their dreams and believe in beautiful fantasy creature, because let's face it, they're kids. They should be cultivating their imagination, because when you believe all that stuff in kids and you grow up to believe that you can do anything and that the world is their oyster. So it's fun to help foster these kids' imagination by playing along with the idea that mermaids are magical creatures. We're not just like an animal. We're not just like a humanoid, you know, we're mermaids, we have magic powers. Kids will ask that all the time. That's a pretty popular question that mermaids get asked at a gig, is do you have magic powers? Can you guess what I tell them? Shell, yeah, I do. Okay, actually I don't say that exactly. You get the idea. I love to talk about mermaid magic with the kids. Now, there is a difference between like actual witchcraft. Like, we're not trying to teach them that. That's for them to decide when they grow up. But for now, we're talking about like stuff you read about in fantasy books. You know, you see in shows and movies, like in H2O, they have all these magic powers. Common powers that mermaids are known to have: telekinesis, hydrokinesis, shape-shifting, talking to animals, having enchanting songs. Now that's the power that Mermaid Liv has. She has a magical singing voice. I like to say that as a mermaid, I can use my voice to like control sailors and things. That's a little ominous for a kids' party, but it's okay. So you don't have to tell kids that you have powers. You can always be boring and say that mermaids aren't magical. I'm kidding, it's fine if you don't want to tell kids you have powers. When you tell kids you have powers, they might be like, well, demonstrate them. And then you're kind of in a pickle. So you kind of have to come up with excuses as to why you can't perform that magic trick. You could say your powers only work during a full moon, or you don't have your magic amulets, or maybe you have a magic crown. These are the kind of things that you can tell kids when they ask if you have mermaid powers. Now, another great thing is to use things like crystals. Magic Crafter did a great video about using crystals as a professional mermaid. So I recommend watching that. I'll put a link to that right here. But show kids some cool crystals, say like, this has magical powers, you know, when you hold this rock, your wishes come true. If you get like a crystal ball or like one of those like contact juggling like crystal ball things, that kind of the fushigi as they were being sold as, you can look into it and, you know, you can say, you can do some like pretend divination, you know, we're not talking about actual divination, it's just for show. You know, you look into it and you say, wow, I see you with fairy wings and you're running through a garden and you're so happy. You know, like fun little magical things like that. Make the kids feel good, make them believe in themselves. You could also use like a magic mirror, and you can say like, when you look into this mirror, it shows you the most beautiful person in the world. It's making the kids feel important and like the world is amazing, you know. That's part of my mission, being positive and happy and magical, like a fairy tale creature that I am. So yeah, you can use all kinds of props. Like I have this selenite wand, which you can use as like, you know, kids understand wands. Kids love wands, you know. Go to Harry Potter World, they're selling all kinds of cool wands. You can get one of these at your local crystal shop. You can, you know, use it as a wand, or you could make your own wand. You know, find a stick. You could decorate it to be like a pretty mermaid wand. I've actually been considering making some mermaid wands and selling them in my Etsy store. Haven't gotten around to doing that yet, but I might do it. So you just get to be really creative when it comes to mermaid gigs and talking about magic. Here's another crystal that I have. It's some green aventurine. It matches my tail! So pretty! Yeah, so show kids your pretty rocks. They love that. You can just tell them your whole ensemble is magical. You could tell them that you magically transform into a mermaid when you go into the water. That's another thing, because kids will ask you a lot, can you turn into a human? So you want to prepare an answer for that for a mermaid gig. There's a couple different ways that could go. So this is shape-shifting, and you could also tell them you can turn into a fairy. You know, you can tell them whatever they want. It's your show. You're the entertainer. You're the magical fairy creature performer. You make your own story. Also true in life. Yeah, so kids will ask if you can turn into a human, or if you have legs, And you can tell them that when you come out of the water and dry off and you grow a pair of legs, your tail transforms and it sparkles, and they might ask you to transform, and you can just tell them it's a little painful when you transform into a human, so you don't like to do it. You can also say your magic powers don't work very well in front of other people because you get too nervous and can't focus your powers. Another thing to say, if they ask you if you can turn into a human, you can tell them that you have this magic, you can say you have a magic necklace that turns you into a human. It holds the power. You can also say that you can do a magic spell, and writing spells for fun is fun. For stories and for mermaid gigs, I wrote this spell for turning into a human and transforming between a human and a mermaid. In the sea, a long tail forms, but legs appear once on shore. You can also just make a little poem, basically. Just add some rhymes in there and say what your intention is. So to touch on some other powers, there's telekinesis, which is when you can move things with your hands. You can tell kids you can do that, or hydrokinesis, which is you can control the water, kind of like in the show H2O. I like to tell kids I can talk to animals, and sometimes I do impressions of, I'll do a dolphin impression for you. That's the best I can do. I thought it was pretty good. What do you think? Or you could do some whale impressions, and you basically just talk like Dory from that scene in Finding Nemo, and encourage the kids to do it with you because it's fun. You can tell them you can talk to fish and then do a little fish impression like bloop, bloop, bloop. Kids love funny faces. Here's another fun thing. This is more of a story than a tip. I was at a mermaid gig and it was a cloudy day. Everyone was so sad. It had been thundering a little bit, so we all had to wait to get into the pool, and it stopped thundering and we were like, oh wow, can we get into the pool now? And we were like, oh, let's wait for the sun to come out. And I'm there in my mermaid tail and I say to the kids, oh, guys, let's call up to the sun and ask it to come out. And I was like, come out, sun, come out, sun. And everyone started chanting that with me, and the sun did come out a little bit. Even the adults were impressed. That was coincidental or not. Maybe the sun really listened to me. Maybe I really do have magic. I like to think we all have a little bit of magic. But anyway, that's just the kind of beautiful moments you can create when you talk about magic in a mermaid gig. It's just so fun. It's so magical. It's so beautiful. Making kids use their imaginations and believe anything is possible. I love being a professional mermaid. And if you want to be a professional mermaid, you should subscribe to my channel because I have all kinds of helpful videos on how to act as a professional mermaid, how to be a professional mermaid, how to get mermaid gigs, all kinds of things for professional mermaids. I'm here to help you on your professional mermaid journey, or if you just like all things mermaid, it's good too. You don't have to make money as a mermaid. You can just be a mermaid for the fun of it. And there is a lot of fun. Anyway, it's about to get dark, so I'm gonna cut this video off here. And that's a lie, I'm cutting this video off because I ran out of stuff to say, not because it's getting dark. I'm glad I had enough time. I hope this video helped you guys, and I hope you have a magical day. Bye bye.